Welcome everyone, this is the end of 2020 video, and I'm sure that you've been looking forward to the end of 2020 for a long time. What I'm going to do for this video is I don't want to waste your time too much. I know that it's very unconventional for me to do an actual voice recording video, and I'm not going to try to edit this very much, so it's going to be a little bit rough. There's 4 things that I wanted to talk about because I thought it would be fun, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Number 1 is I'm going to talk about the plan for 2021. Number 2, I'm going to give you some hints on some secrets that were in the 2020 Kirby remixes. Not many of my viewers are here for the non-Kirby stuff, but I also wanted to include you guys and talk about some stuff behind the non-Kirby remixes. And finally, last but not least, and perhaps what you may want to see as the viewer, is I'm going to be responding to some comments that I've saved that I thought might be interesting to address, and also some are very funny. So, I hope you enjoy this. I hope it doesn't, it doesn't take you by surprise too much. This artwork was done by Star Abraham. It was actually the inspiration for the Neo Star remix that we did together. And he did a lot of animation on that. Major props to him, and you can expect more cool visuals from him in the future. So, thank you for that. Yes, very, very unconventional. We're just doing a screen recording of my Mac. Just try to keep all personal information off of the screen, so I may have to do a little bit of cropping. Here is the schedule for 2021, and if you don't know what the Morpho Medley is, I don't expect you to, necessarily, because Morpho Knight was a character that only appeared in Star Allies, and I imagine that I have some fans that have not played Star Allies. So, if you haven't played Star Allies, that's totally fine. There's still a lot that you can get out of this, and I wanted to explain it to you. Depending on the character that you fight Morpho Knight with, it plays sometimes a different track with different melodies pertaining to the character or relating to the character that you're playing as. So this is a great avenue for me to go back and remake some tracks that I've done. There's still a few tracks in Star Allies that I kind of want to do. It's just a great opportunity to just do a bunch of crazy shit. So that's what we're going to do. I know I've done some of these tracks recently, like Nightmare in particular, and Dark Cloudy is actually Dark Matter from Dreamland 2, I think. So what I've tried to do is I try to lay out where I'm putting the stuff that I've done recently at the back end, so you guys don't get too bored of it. Please, someone, God, help me. Get me out of this screen. I don't want to be here anymore. No, not back to that. Okay. So I reached out to Jameson and 2 other people to ask about if there was anything that they wanted to share about their process and what went into the contributions that they made to the videos. So here's what Jameson wrote for me. Inspired by the Soul Melter medley, I began to make gameplay edits of the songs from said medley. At first, they started out as something I'd do for fun until Light MetaS took notice. After that, I became serious about it. Making gameplay edits may seem easy, but it's actually a bit tough. You have to study the song and find the flow of it. Depending on the song, the gameplay edits will be calm or intense. Take Light's Dark Tyranza remix, for example, specifically at the end when the sax comes in. Not only do I study the song, I edit based on lore. Going back to the Dark Tyranza remix, Tyranza and Sectonia are really close, so I made sure I added her in some parts. Working with TNH Game Remixes and Light MetaS has been an extreme honor, and I never could have saw this coming. I hope you all enjoy what's to come from us. Thank you, Jameson. All your contributions are incredibly appreciated. I was getting so tired of doing those gameplay edits, so I really, really appreciate it. I downloaded all these things because when I'm playing them off of the video just online, it's all choppy. So we're going to start with this one. It's Kirby's Dreamland 3 and Crystal Shard's Boss Remix. First of all, the artwork that started is spectacular. He posted a comment saying that he was like, I think it's okay for last minute stuff. And I thought he was being facetious at first because it's so good. But yeah, I think he was actually being honest. I don't really have an eyeball for artwork, but I just love the comic book kind of style that he used here. If you played Kirby's Dreamland 3, you know that the boss theme starts with that little thing right there. Da-da-da-da-da. So that little thing. If you play Kirby 64, the boss theme starts with this cool thing where it's like ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. when you listen to that, you're like, okay, the boss is going. And then, like, you get to the last boss, or what you think is the last boss, Miracle Matter, and it plays that intro, except for the intro gets all fucked up at the end of it. And it gets all like, it starts to deteriorate, and it goes into this cool fucking thing. And I kind of wanted to create an effect like that, where you're expecting to hear one thing, but it actually, the intro actually lasts longer than it does in the original. So I like to do that to create a false expectation. And I did that again a little bit at this part. So this was always my favorite part in the original. And it always ends after this little section. But I added an extra bar on there. So that was a lot of fun. The True Arena Mini Medley. I guess a couple things that I thought were interesting is that you'll notice this with a lot of my tracks, the climax of the song actually doesn't appear in the end. It appears like 2/3 through, right at the marks part. So that's the that's kind of the climax. Another climax is the Mass DD part, but that Mark's melody that you just heard is actually not mine. It was made by TNH for his Mark's remix, which if you haven't heard, you should listen to it. It is phenomenal. And I was always like, I always wanted to reference his stuff, but I was always like kind of tiptoeing. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but then I asked him about it and he was like, go for it. And also, he referenced one of the melodies in my Mind in a Program remix, in his Susie remix, and that was fucking really quite flattering. Oh, also, thank you, Glitch, for the artwork. The art he did for that is spectacular. He did like 5 or 6 or maybe even like 7 pieces for that video overnight. It was insane. Here's what Glitch said about his True Arena pieces that he did for the video. Originally, the art for the video was going to consist of Grand Wheelie, Mr. TikTok, Fan, and Fireline, as seen by the single Grand Wheelie in the video. However, last-minute changes the day prior led to every art piece in the video being done in less than 12 hours before the video debuted. Keep in mind, all my stuff is done by finger alone, and I didn't get to sleep until 4 in the morning. It was worth it. I hope so. I'm sorry to hear that. Galactonite's mask is based off his most recent appearance in Super Kirby Clash 2019, as his sprite design in Superstar Ultra features a way bigger eye hole than his current incarnations. Interesting. Thank you, Glitch. Next up, we have Taranza. So, listen. So you hear that little choir thing in there. So that is actually a sample taken from my Moonstruck Blossom remix. So, also, I didn't get any comments on this, which I was kind of surprised by, because a lot of the like motifs that I put in here, people pick up on very easily. But listen to this melody. So that is also taken from the old Queen Sectonia medley. What you'll see in a lot of these remixes is I'll actually have self-referential melodies that are not from a particular Kirby game, but are actually from old remixes that I've done. Toby Fox said the same thing when he was doing his music, which is really funny, actually. Is that people talk about, you know, how it's cool how he can do different motifs and reference tracks and stuff like that. And really, it is a lot of fun, but also it's just easier to sometimes recycle ideas. And thank you, Glitch, again for the artwork, and an awesome job to Jameson on the video edits there. Here's what Glitch wanted to share about his Taranza piece that he did for the video. This video is the first of many times I've had to draw characters I had otherwise never drawn before. great practice for new things, albeit incredibly fun and nerve-wracking. Taranza's head was the thing taken into account the most, since I usually start there with art pieces, and having been in an emote phase at the time, Taranza having multiple expressions was pretty quick, since his head had individual layers on a separate page from where I worked on his body and hands. Got you. Thank you, Glitch. There's actually another art piece in this video by Noole. It's a pixel art piece. It's really cool. It appears right at the very end. So check it out. Noole had something to say about this piece. He says, initially when I got the DM at 7:30 p.m. where I was asked for art in the video, Light wanted to use a piece I did in the past. But when he mentioned it was specifically Kirby Clash, or Clash Deluxe, I changed gears into making an entirely new piece from scratch, which basically came down to me speedrunning art from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. until I was finally ready to be done for the night. At 1 a.m. I was lying in bed thinking about it when I felt there was something missing. That's when I added the flower, and that morning when I sent Light the completed picture. The flower, I believe, is the most unique asset that Clash Deluxe Taranza has over Triple Deluxe Taranza. So overall, it complemented everything perfectly. Some behind the scenes on the art itself, initially I was going to have Taranza and Dark Meta Knight in it, but when I noticed that Glitch made art of Taranza, I changed it to Dark Taranza and scrapped Dark Meta Knight. Another thing is that matching D-Mine's horns with the mirrors wasn't intentional, but it ended up looking cool, so I kept it. Overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm not someone who regrets past work when it comes to art, mostly because I don't have a consistent style or workflow. Every piece I make is just me experimenting until I come up with something I think looks good. As for the video, this artwork was a part of my favorite bit is still the mysterious trap mixed with Light's original Moonstruck remix. I think that last line has a grammatical mistake, but that's kind of beside the point. Thank you, Noole, for this piece. I think it really does wonders in kind of closing out the whole video. So I really, really appreciate that. Next up, you guys probably know what I'm going to go with this one. I reference Kirby's Adventure, Nightmare, and also Nightmare in Dreamland, Nightmare. And I also reference Canvas Curse. So that's what the Canvas Curse version does. It has this cool thing where it like drags on the first part. And then I referenced the Kirby Clash versions 1 and 2, but I didn't reference version 3. I'm hoping to do that version a little bit more in the Morpho medley. So the only other thing I wanted to say is the most obvious thing, or may not be obvious, depending on how much of a long-time viewer you are. Oh yeah, here. Bum, 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 bum. So this whole part right at the end is pulled from an old remix of mine. So that's a take on the Nightmare theme where it incorporates Crowned, and then it goes off on its own little tangent thing, and you can hear the rest of the remix if you want. And that appears right here. So that appears there, and what's funny is that I have so many different versions of that. I have that, okay, I have this one, I have this one, I have a full version, which is here. And it has like Air Ride references and stuff. And then I have another version. If you search Tougher Boss Gamble Galaxy Stories in YouTube, you will find one of the other versions that I made. So there you go. Cool stuff. And also, this is one of my favorite video edits from Jameson. I love this video edit, especially what he did, this shot right here with A Nightmare in Dreamland. It's just so fucking epic. Check it out. Oh, so, I don't know why that's just so effective. Thank you, Jameson. Okay, speaking of Jameson, This, King D-Mine, was done for his birthday. I don't want to act too selfless. It's also a track that I have been meaning to do for a long time, so it worked out. I'm pretty happy with how it came out as a whole, but there's two things that bothered me about this, and I don't like imposing my own opinion on my work sometimes because I feel like it detracts from other people's listening pleasure, but it's also interesting. All right, listen to the very last note here. That note is wrong. That note is not, it's not an incorrect note, but it is not the same note that appears in the original. It's funny because I was like, is that right? Is that right? I was like, I think that's right. I'm just gonna go with that. I go with that, and then I listen to Johnny's remix, Johnny Atma, and I'm like, fuck! That wasn't right. He got it right. Damn it! Which is funny because I did a Dark Mind remix a long time ago, and I got it right there, but we're gonna do it again, so we'll get it right next time. Okay, this part bothers me a little bit because there's a part where that one it has dun 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 dun. It has in the original it has King Master Deity's theme. As a part of that, it goes da 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 on top of the da da, and I didn't include that. It did cross my mind at the time, but I also still kind of think that it probably would have benefited from having it, especially since that's the only thing that sets that part, separate from the original Dark Mind theme. But anyway, there's another thing that I wanted to reference that's pretty interesting that I don't think anybody really caught, is this. This part. So that is actually not a reference directly to Sectonia's theme. That is from this song, Severed. And then it. So then it actually does go into that part from, Moonstroke Blossom. So there you go. The more you know. Duel in the Dark. This had a lot of things in it. There was one thing that I did that was really, 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 really pointless that I don't think anybody caught. And also, I don't even know if I can show you properly because it's so utterly hidden. In fact, the frame drop from the download might have actually deleted it because it only appears for one frame. Yep, I think it did. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you. Yep, it's not. I can't see it. Right there. Right there. On one of the frames, either before or after that, you can see Void's eyeball. And that was an image actually made by Jameson, which appeared in one of TNH's videos. So all kinds of random trivia that is not going to help you in any other area of your life, but is still cool. This part is totally new to the medley, and I was really, really happy with how it came out. I don't know if you can tell, but the sample, if you listen real closely, it flips really fast between your left and your right ear if you're wearing headphones. So there's a distorted sound right there. That is actually a sample from Program, which is why it says Fatal Error all over the screen. So I don't know if you guys caught that. That whole thing and all the way up until the end. Dun 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 is taken from this old ass remix that I did a long time ago. Kind of hard to hear. See, I made that mistake here again. Melody. So that's that. I think that's just about everything. And then we have Toad Matter. So thanks for that. Hope everyone saw that. I made that because one of a cool dude that I met on TNH's Discord named Noole. He said he's like, I'm looking forward to hearing some bups in there, which is, you know, what Toad says, bop. So as a joke, I took the MIDI that I made and I put in Toad samples, and I was like, here it is, sneak peek. And he, you know, I was just really, really happy that he saw that and he got a kick out of it. But anyway, now we're gonna do some non-Kirby stuff, and then we'll get to the comments. So these are all the things that I wanted to say anything about. Let's start with Shell Shocked Armada, which is a Super Mario Bros. 3 boss medley. Okay, there's a lot of things in here that I wanted to talk about that I don't think many people caught. Okay, so first of all, I think where I kind of fell flat with this one is I didn't include footage from New Super Mario Bros. Wii and also New Super Mario Bros. DS, which I probably should have. It's still hard to, you know, work this hobby with a full-time job, which is what I'm currently trying to do. So it's the Super Mario Bros. 3 boss theme. And then that little thing is from New Super Mario Bros. DS. And then this part right here from New Super Mario Bros. DS. And then this part. That part is from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on with the Bowser theme. We have samples from the Super Mario RPG version. There, you can hear that a little bit. You can hear the xylophone or whatever it is. Okay, so you have the traditional Bowser battle theme, which is... And then what's really interesting is if you've ever played Super Mario Advance 4 on the Game Boy Advance, the final boss theme is actually slightly different. The notes are kind of corrupted. You know, I kind of like it, but it doesn't sound very natural, especially if you're used to hearing the original. I actually used that version right here. So if you listen closely. So those notes are slightly different. It's kind of hard to tell if you haven't heard the theme before, but those notes are from the Game Boy Advance version. Then listen to the piano. Listen, you might have to have headphones for this, but if you listen closely. The piano is from Super Mario Sunshine's final boss battle. And then the last thing that I wanted, because everybody caught the airship theme. But what people didn't catch is this. Okay, so you know the castle theme in Mario Bros. 3. Da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-dum-bum-bum. Listen to this. So that's what that is. I feel like this really obnoxious guy just preaching his own creations at you. Oh, man. Okay, all right, what are we doing next? Let's do With Me. I love this song so much. I feel really bad for some of the Sonic fans because they get so much shit for liking these games. I'm not really a big fan of the Sonic games around this time period either, but I think that if you can enjoy the game, that's spectacular. In fact, I actually kind of like the story of this game. I wasn't a huge fan of the gameplay, but it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek. When I first played it, I thought it was like really took itself way too seriously, but that's not the case at all. This song is very near and dear to my heart, and lyrically, I think it kind of spoke to me for a long time. It's just a really special, awesome song. So major props to All Ends, which is the name of the original band who made that, for making it. Sealed Vessel, I juggle back and forth with the idea that I'm still making songs from games that I haven't actually played. This is one of them. This was very cathartic for me because the original track, Sealed Vessel, is such a dark song. It's incredibly depressing, and it's actually perfect in what it's trying to do, which is convey this sense of isolation and pain and sorrow. At least I'm assuming that's what they were going for, because that's what it conveys perfectly. And it's very, very, very cathartic to remix. Just getting all those negative emotions out of your system. It's just beautiful. I love this song for that, but I've never actually played the game. It looks like something that I would absolutely adore. Like, I'm pretty picky with my games, actually. This actually looks perfect for me. So definitely awesome. Thank you so much to Moonman for the artwork. He actually was offering to make more than that, but I kind of, I don't remember what it was. I think I said something where I was just like, all right, we're good. And then he was like, oh, okay. But I didn't even realize he offered until I looked back through it later. I was like, oh, shit. Or Origami Castle. Next. This one is interesting. I think the main thing that I wanted to say about this track is that the appeal of the original track was a sort of like grandiose, powerful thing. It's got choir and it's big and it's just very menacing and beautiful. My version of it, I think, which is actually not what I usually try to go for, because I usually try to go for exactly what I just said. But what my version ended up being was more of a groove. It's still a rock-themed track. The appeal is not so much emotion, it's more of a groove. So I think for some people it's kind of hard to adjust to that. Here's what Glitch said about his King Ollie piece. King Ollie was an art piece I'd actually drawn as an early Mario 35th piece. Ironically, before this video idea was brought to my attention. Funny coincidence, really. It was. I was just asking around for stuff for the video, and Glitch had already made the piece. So, it's pretty awesome. Let's talk about the Ridley remix. So this is, I still have to put up the damn no vocals version. This is a mishmash track of a song from a band that I love called Dream Theater, which does a song that's very close to Ridley in terms of melody, and the lyrics actually are very fitting to the whole terror of the Metroid universe. Actually, I might not want to spoil it, but somebody posted a comment on this video that made me laugh so fucking hard. I think it turned out really well. I was really happy with this, but I think for some people it came out of left field, which I definitely did. Definitely still have to upload the instrumental version, and I may actually have to at some point make that the only version viewable because of the copyright claim for using the vocal track from Dream Theater. Well, by the way, if you're a fan of video game music and you want to get into mainstream music, listen to Dream Theater. They are fucking awesome. Definitely check them out. Here's what Glitch said about his Ridley art that he did for the video. Ridley is, from a design standpoint, one of the toughest characters I've ever drawn. Especially with no prior experience with his structure, he's a composite of attributes from his appearances in Super Metroid, Other M, Smash Ultimate, and Mecha Ridley from Zero Mission. Ridley's wings were the hardest, and my program crashed halfway through it. I had a panic attack and feared that over 2.5 hours of progress went completely down the drain. Thank God Ibis Paint X autosaves when it's closed. Panic Attack is the name of the track that got meshed with Ridley here. I'm not sure if Glitch did that on purpose, but there you go. Also, Glitch says, it's been a lot of fun working with Light on these videos. We'll work some more, Glitch. I really appreciate everything that you've done. There's maybe one thing I wanted to say about this one, aside from the fact that Jameson did an awesome job on the AMV for this, so thank you so much for that. And the only thing I wanted to say is, I spelled her damn name wrong in the outro, so I may have to remove that, which you can actually do. The last section of the video, which I think I'll be able to open all of these at once. Oh, yes! Beautiful. Okay, so check it out. So here we go. The first comment is by Chaz. So these are just a few comments that I handpicked. Not everybody's going to get screen time, and I apologize for that. But so Chaz is posting, and I thought this was funny because he's right. I probably should have put some yin yarn in there. That's an excellent suggestion. So I just wanted to make a call out to that. This was great. I really appreciate this comment because, you know, as someone who didn't actually play Hollow Knight, I was very iffy on how effective the remix was for people, so I was really happy to see that people liked it. So thank you so much for that. Hello. 5 years later, still vibing to this. You know, looking back, I think I definitely should have done something different other than Megalovania, but it is what it is. I definitely want to do some Deltarune tracks in the future, and if you guys want to hear it, I really want to do, I've talked about this before, I really want to do Megalo Strike Back at some point, so hopefully you guys will be up for that. Hello, Meteors! Man, every time I listen to beautiful music from the Dark Matter trilogy, it makes me want to see a remake of them so much more. Also, seriously, why did they decide to bring back Pon and Con and not, I don't know, Acro, Mr. Shine, Mr. Bright, so many other choices? So what he's talking about is in Star Allies, they brought back Pon and Con, and he's right. He's right. He's very critical of the Kirby series in a fan perspective, and I like that about him. And he's right. You know, Pon and Con are like really weirdly prominent in these games, aside from the fact that they're not that interesting, in my opinion, anyway. Okay, next up. Out of curiosity, what editing software do you use? I'm asking because I'm trying to find some good audio visualizer plugins. So what he's talking about is in the videos when you see those little wavy lines on the screen that change depending on how loud the music is, that's an audio visualizer. And what's really funny is that I actually don't use a video editing program for that. I use FL Studio, which is my music making program. So get that, get the demo for FL Studio, which is free, and then figure out how to make a figure out how to use the Z Game Editor, which is a plugin that you can use that I'm pretty sure comes free packaged with FL Studio. So yeah. And then this is what I was picking on Star for before. I think the artwork is all right for literally a last minute thing. Dude, I love the art style on this. And it might be because I don't have an eye for, you know, for more art that takes a significantly longer amount of time. But I absolutely love the style on this. So thank you so much. But yeah, the crops, I don't know why they would taste like fish. I don't know. Maybe because they have Acro as the next thing, and I don't know. Anyway, Majo's cool. This came out on my birthday. Makes me happy. Man, even a simple song like Boss Team from Kirby's Dream Land 3 becomes magic when I touch it. Most underrated YouTube artist of the... Wow, does this seem egotistical? I'm like, I really need to think about this before I start throwing myself out there. The Bumpercrop box song is underrated. Kudos to Surface City. Yes, for sure. Yes, definite props to him. So, and happy birthday, by the way. What? Oh no! I thought this was really funny. It's kind of these are spam comments, and this guy in the comments is cracking me up. This guy right here, Jason Ham 89. Oh, and he gets better. It gets better. he just does not care. It's so funny. Oh man. So I'm assuming these are all bots, but I could be wrong, and I apologize if they're not. If they are actually a human being. Quality content as always. Great to see you, man. Thank you. Oh boy, here this cracked me up because that's a damn Rick and Morty reference, I believe. First time I read that, I don't know why, but it killed me. This guy's giving me a little bit. I don't know if it's a guy or not, but this person is giving me some shit for not extending more songs, and they are absolutely right. I should definitely be extending some more songs, but it takes a long ass time because it's so damn slow with the uploading. So if anyone wants to re-upload my stuff as an extension, do it. I don't care. It's less work for me. You know what? Upload it as an extension if you want to, and send it to me, and I will add it to my playlist so other people can see it. What are the references? I want to know. Thanks. I don't know, actually. Also, your username is pretty great. That's been way too long, and also TNH jams in so many motifs that I can't even count them all. So there you go. Yeah, sure. I don't know why I responded to that and then left it here for me. Okay. This guy's making a bunch of puns, which is great. Fold me back. I'm crumpled by saying this remix could not be Better than any boss theme rainbows before watching. Well, thank you, Tom Schwartzmans. And that's it. Those are all the comments. That I feel like I could have done more comments, but maybe we'll do again in the future. I don't know. It depends. This is pretty random stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. Isn't that what Markiplier says? Stay tuned. Thank you so much.